Hello everyone and welcome to SOLIDWORKS Live. Today's guests are here to provide 3 sneak peeks at World. The big announcement areas to look forward to, a special preview of our technical session agenda, and more broadly, other great ways to take note of when it comes to experiencing the best of manufacturing solutions and technology. We'll start off with a sneak peek focused on integrated machining and robotics solutions for SOLIDWORKS users before making our way to a very similar discussion focused around manufacturing ERP, brought to you by DELMIAWorks.
This episode of SOLIDWORKS Live is brought to you by 3DEXPERIENCE World 2025. Join thousands of designers, engineers, analysts, solution partners, and SOLIDWORKS team members in Houston, Texas, from February 23rd to the 26th.
Mike, welcome to our official 3DEXPERIENCE World preview here on the SOLIDWORKS YouTube channel. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you? It seems like we don't even talk anymore. You're doing all the live stuff. We're over here doing manufacturing stuff. It's cool to actually catch up again.
Well, yeah, and we have a fresh background. Look at this. Look. I decorated for you. You
Yeah.
see there?
Yeah, it's pretty. I think I got to step up my game now here. I'm gonna have to put something more cool in here than just machinery's handbook and some black and white stuff.
Yeah, it's just for you. As everyone, whoever watches SolidWorks Live will know I'm lying in this. But nah, man, I brought you on to this, our talk to our worldwide SolidWorks audience as a preview of what's to come for 3D Experience World as it pertains to announcements, tech sessions that we'll see at 3D Experience World. And we'll get to a big sneak peek of 3D Experience World 2025 in just a moment. But to bring us up to speed, what were some of the key highlights and newsworthy items in 2024 as it pertains to manufacturing?
Boy, 2024 seems like the shortest and longest year
Yes,
in
both.
several
I agree.
years. Mainly because there's so much stuff that we have going on, but then also there's like this new sense of urgency with getting manufacturing going, right? So when we look at 2024, we look at all the things that have happened. Some of that's going to lead to what we'll talk about for 3D Experience World, why they should come see me in the group. But some of the biggest things that happened this year was we we took and we have some new uh, more simplistic offers for people around robotics, virtual commissioning, plant layout, and virtual factory. How do I simulate and optimize the things I do? We regrouped some of the CAM and machining offers that come into play, right? Making them more competitive, putting the right pieces in the right spot for everybody. And we now actually have a pretty full suite of manufacturing capability depending upon where you're at on your journey. That's something that we have taken lots of feedback from customers and went through. And really that's the key to what we focused on this year is how do we take all this amazing technology and put it in the right grouping for everyone to be able to access and do what they need to do for their individual job.
Now we've mentioned throughout the year, I believe on the What's New in SolidWorks episode, which is our biggest episode of the year, as well as several others. We had a whole dedicated manufacturing domain episode that shop floor programmer, right? That was a huge announcement being included in each new seat of SolidWorks, right? That was I know Chris McBain, who's been on the show quite a good bit of times, has mentioned that several times over the past year or so.
Yeah, so I think when you look at that, right, it's a scenario when I started here, gosh, a little over 8 years ago now. We launched our first CAM solution along with SolidWorks Inspection, SolidWorks CAM, and that's out now to over 7 million users worldwide, and from that we were able to gather enormous amounts of feedback, have a better understanding of what people are doing, how, when, where, and why, right, where they're going for the future. And shop floor programmer is really an extension of that, right? Based on what we've seen in the last 8 years, plus where people want to go, and things that SolidWorks users have asked for. Things like nesting, right? Nesting was a top 10 list enhancement on SolidWorks, top 10 for years and years and years. With the release of that in shop floor programmer, starting, gosh, a couple weeks ago now, um, everybody now has access to those things. So it's not just about machining and making toolpath. It's about providing tools for the SolidWorks engineer to communicate more effectively with the shop, but also make better decisions in their designs. Back when I was, out in the real world, quote unquote, one of the big things that my team did at Carl Schmidt is we went through and relooked at everything we did, and it was all based on how many sheets of material we were going to order, how fast we can bend parts on the press brake based on a given length, right? We took that design to manufacture to a level of being able to nest and lay out all the components in the right way. Now, with SolidWorks 2025, 25X release for the 3D Experience platform, all designers now have the ability to take an assembly, drop it in, nest it, and see how many sheets it's going to take. Maybe I can shave an inch here, add an inch there, and fit it on one less sheet. And as we all know, material costs are volatile these days. So the more accurate I can be with my sheet costs, the better product I can produce and the faster I can get it to market.
Yeah, I can say I'm sure you're speaking the language of a lot of people that are listening here around the world. Yeah, that's more important than ever, and it kind of segues a little bit in terms of world and manufacturing's presence at world into my next question. Right, a lot of people I can say day one general session as far as live streaming goes, which we will air some parts of world on live streaming today. But you should definitely register. Definitely go to Houston. it's the hottest attended part of the live stream. And I think the biggest reason for that is because people are expecting some big announcements. Now, I know it's December, so I can't totally get you to, spill the beans, so to speak, on, the major announcements we have in store, particularly for manufacturing. But could you maybe for our audience here a few months ahead tease some of the things or maybe the flavor of things we might be hearing at World?
Yeah, so, obviously, you and I aren't high enough up to be able to determine when we can see things, right? But at the same time, like the software programmer, it's amazing that we launched that in 25X. We had it in What's New, but I am going to guess that there's still 60% of the population that will never hear it. So when we talk about, 3D experience world, we talk about those things. We have lots of things set up to educate users on what they now get with the 3D Experience platform, with 3D Experience SolidWorks, with SolidWorks Cloud Services. And we have lots of sessions geared towards that. When you start talking about big things that we'll talk about on the main stage for general session, obviously I can't say too much. I can tell you that like with the shop floor and things that we're practicing to do this year. Last year we did that really cool bowl piece in the DVF from DN Solutions. This year we're doing something that's a little more out of this world. So you're going to have to stop by and see it. It's going to be really cool. Imagine the bowl from last year, but taking it to that next level. We try to do theme things, but, we're really going to try to showcase the capabilities of the virtual twin, robotics, machining. How do we actually connect all this data? That's a big key too, right? Like it's one thing to design a part. It's another thing to program a part, but am I actually making it on time and on budget? So if you come by and see me in the group in the shop floor this year in the playground, we're going to have a little bit more of a guided tour, a little more cohesive to walk people through that process. So if they have questions, they can stop by and see, but you're not going to want to miss the automation coming from Tormach and what we're going to be running on the DN machine. It's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a huge part. We take a bit of a route, Jesse and I, through the playground, which includes the shop floor each year. And I know that's definitely there's always a bit of a spike whenever we stop by the shop floor because people want to know, right? People want to know what's out there and the latest sort of interconnections between software and hardware solutions in that area. And honestly, within the playground area, there's tons of capabilities, tons of partners, different companies showcasing their latest capabilities, but the shop floor is always sort of a hallmark space to get to. But now I want to ask you, a big reason why, of course, seeing the latest hardware, software, like, we mentioned interconnected technologies, it's a huge reason why people go to conferences like 3D Experience World. Another reason, of course, is to network, right? To meet the people behind those companies, to meet people in your remote industry or your sub-industry, right? But another reason why people go to World specifically, and I've been seeing a lot of people sharing details about their sessions that they got approved for at World, is to learn through whether it's hands-on, more tactile sessions or through more classroom environment sessions. So when it comes to manufacturing and the technical learning sessions that audience members can partake in, can you talk to us about maybe some of the themes there or maybe some particular courses that will be available that our attendees or our viewers today might be enticed to partake in?
Yeah. So, this year when we look at the classes and the components that we've done for manufacturing and, what's been improved, we're really blessed this year because of the fact that we had so many people submit ideas for manufacturing and be able to solve it. I wish, I had another 30 slots open because there were so many great sessions. But when we look at what we had to pare down to and where we ultimately ended up, what we looked at is if I'm a designer, I'm an engineer, I, use SolidWorks and I do all these things, how can I take my data I've already created to the next level? Let's be real. We design lots of fixtures and lots of tooling and lots of those things for manufacturing already using SolidWorks. What if we brought that to life? What if we put the science behind it? So when we start looking at sessions that we put together, we've done some for machining, shop floor programmer as an example, come in, sit, listen to people actually using it in the real world, go through, learn how they went through it. We've done the same with robotics. There's a big push in adding robotics and automation to your company. All those cells are designed, the fixtures are designed, the tooling is designed in there. So how do we take advantage of that SolidWorks data and actually put it to where we can put tool path or just regular path for a robot onto what you've already designed. And then the last area we have sections for is plant layout optimization. Before we put any automation into our factory, we probably need to know, are we putting it in the right spot? Well, a lot of people try to use SolidWorks to do that plant layout and add a bunch of detail. And although SolidWorks is really great for it, there are other tools in the toolkit, if you will, to make your life easier and do things faster and have more of that living document with even more detail than what you would do today with SolidWorks. So we've really taken the approach of there's all these great, amazing things that people do with SolidWorks every day. How do we extend the toolkit using the platform and help them leverage the right tool for the right job in things that they've already done in SolidWorks? Tooling and fixtures is a big thing.
Yeah, and as you've said, I think in a variety of ways, not only at the event and at 3D Experience World 2025 in February in Houston, but also just throughout the year with all of the, you mentioned nesting, shop floor programmer overall, all these different enhancements that have come throughout the year in 2024 for SolidWorks users. We're going to start reaping the benefits of those, this upcoming year.
Yeah, of course. I was thinking the other day, I'm going to drag this out just a little bit longer. I was thinking the other day, back in 2017, right here, we started with this piece, right? Can't really see it because it's still shiny. Cell phone holder in a 10 by 10 spot with a Haas mini mill. Now we're at 60 by 50 space with all the interconnectivity and robots and automation. And you really think about how SolidWorks World, 3D Experience World has evolved from 2017 to today. It's really amazing how much more technology our attendees get exposed to and how many more problems we can help them solve. And I think that's really the key. If you're on the fence of, should I come? Yeah, I'm an expert in SolidWorks. I know everything about it. There's nothing I'm going to learn. I would challenge you to come and not just sit in the same old sessions. Come and see all the extended capability that's there, because there's stuff that we're doing on my side that when I started in the 90s in the real world, it was science fiction. And if you look at that cell phone holder from 2017 to what we're going to be doing this year and that DN machine with 5-axis capability, it's really an amazing evolution in a short period of time. So if you think you're too cool for SolidWorks, come see the rest of us, because we have things that will blow your mind.
Awesome. Yeah, great plea to visit 3dexperienceworld.com, check out everything that's out there, view the sessions, some of which we alluded to here today, and the rest of what's to come. But once again, thank you so much, Mike.
Of course. Thanks, man.
This episode of SolidWorks Live is brought to you by 3D Experience World 2025. Join thousands of designers, engineers, analysts, solution partners, and SolidWorks team members in Houston, Texas, from February 23rd to the 26th.
Devin, welcome on to our official 3D Experience World sneak peek here on the SolidWorks YouTube channel. How's it going, man?
It's going great. Thank you for having me. Very excited to be here.
100%. I'm so excited that 3D Experience World is coming up in just a few months, which is insane. It's really crazy to think about that. It's very, very, very close now. But Devin, I brought you on specifically to offer our worldwide SolidWorks audience here on the SolidWorks YouTube channel a preview of what's to come, specifically as it pertains to announcements at World, manufacturing tech sessions, which I know you're intimately involved with. And much more that attendees of the conference will have exclusive access to. And a lot of the reason why people tune in, whether it's for general session, in person, or even the people that can't make it and watch it on the SolidWorks YouTube channel, a lot of times they're looking for the big announcements, what's next, what's coming in 2025. So can you maybe tease us with maybe not spoiling the big announcement, but maybe the flavor of the announcements, the themes of them?
Sure. For us, our big announcements are really about the evolution of our product, in particular in the sphere that's connected with the connected worker and with SolidWorks integration. I'll save the big details for the show, but in the first quarter of this year, we're taking big steps forward in helping our manufacturing customers increase labor productivity and furthering our vision of deep connections between design and manufacturing. So the 2025 version of DELMIAWorks, manufacturing ERP, not only will enhance our commitment to that connected worker and designed to build the process, but will also contain over 3 dozen additional enhancements to make our current customers more productive.
That's incredible. And that's why we go to these conferences, right? We go there to learn. It's particularly about, whether it's new machines, new technology, a lot of times about new software. And that can take various forms, right? It can take a form of understanding what's coming down the pipeline in terms of software that I use today or will be using in the future. When it comes to technical sessions, whether it's classroom or in-person sessions at 3D Experience World, when it comes to DELMIAWorks, can you talk us through some of those, maybe in some detail? I know a lot of speakers for 3D Experience World 2025, including myself, who recently got those emails saying, hey, your course has been accepted. So any big topics, any big themes you're seeing on the technical session side?
So, DELMIAWorks particularly prides itself on the quantity of technical sessions that we offer at the conference. We have
Right.
over 30 dedicated sessions this year, ranging in focus from finance to manufacturing operations, quality assurance, supply chain, systems administration. They'll be presented in classroom, hands-on, roundtable formats. In addition to that, we offer representative roles within the organization, the sessions to address skill levels. So we have some of our newest customers and some of our newest users there to talk about some of our more advanced capabilities. And really, for us, that the goal of our technical sessions are really geared around our customers that are there for additional training and understanding how to expand the scope of the value that they get from our system.
So we talked, announcements, we talked technical sessions. Kind of closing this little conversation off here, where will the manufacturing domain, as it pertains to DELMIAWorks, be presented more holistically? If I'm at the conference, where should I go to check in with you guys?
So we'll be well represented, DELMIAWorks in the manufacturing domain throughout the conference. But in particular, the playground area is where we will have demonstrations for all our new and existing products. There'll be a particular focus on our connections between design, manufacturing operations, and machines. The playground exhibits will include not only traditional DELMIAWorks ERP roles, but our growing portfolio of Delmia advanced digital manufacturing roles tailored to the mainstream. The morning plenary sessions will have some of the more impactful customers on stage talking about their use of DELMIAWorks and digital manufacturing. Lunchtime, we'll be arranging our traditional birds of a feather meetups for customers, so they can network with some of our support staff and our technical staff. And generally, as always, our goal of the conference, from our point of view, is to provide our customers with multiple value paths, including essential information, detailed training, peer-to-peer networking, and hopefully some fun and friendship.
Awesome. I'm going to crash those birds with a feather ones. So I launched, I believe, the first ever meetups at World that we ever had in a previous role here. So I'm going to have to check out how you guys do it, because I'm always trying to see, how are people making, like you said, making people come together, learning from one another. That's part of the spirit of a conference, right? So can't wait to get to it. Devin, thank you so much for jumping on, and we
Yeah,
can't wait to see
appreciate it
you.
very much. Yeah, we'll see you in Houston.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I can't wait to see so many of you in Houston. Now, if you're like me and you have software interests outside of just this particular topic of this individual episode, just know that we're doing 3 of these sneak peek episodes. One for design, one for simulation, and as you can see here, one for manufacturing. So check out the SOLIDWORKS YouTube today for each of these episodes. Now, in closing, I just want to say, if it's the last time we see each other here in 2024, happy holidays to everyone. Stay safe, please take care of each other, and I hope to see you soon.